Hi everyone, welcome to Get Good at Golf and welcome back to Slice Week. This week we're going to help you stop slicing your irons, your driver and all your golf clubs and help you hit shots just like that one. Today we're talking about release patterns. How should you release the golf club to not slice the golf ball? You'll see there that I've hit a nice shot. We've got a nice divot there, a nice kind of credit card width divot, and the divot is going slightly left of target, which is exactly what we do want to happen. We don't want it going massively left of target. We don't want the sequencing to throw us off, the upper body to come over the top and to hit that slice. What we do want to do is hit that subscribe button, throw a like on this video if you feel like it's going to help you, so you can then get good at golf. But also, we need to talk about release patterns. So how do I release that club? How did I release that club in order to hit a nice straight iron shot? You see, so many times I will see people who release the club early if they do slice the ball to try and stop slicing it. So you see this move here. So we've got an early release, almost like a casting motion, you could say, when Chris goes bass fishing. That's very much the kind of move he would make. But from here, you can still slice it because you can cut across it and you can also hit a horrible smother hook. So you're bringing in the two-way miss there. That's certainly not what we want to do. So make sure you're not early releasing the club there. Chris has a fantastic drill for us if you struggle with this, or if you struggle with what I'm going to move on to now, the late release. The late release can lead to a shank. I'm just going to put it out there. I was not going to say it, but it can lead to a slice, but it can also lead to a shank. If you try and hold your angles a little bit too long, you can see the club face works open there. Generally, the club face has less surface area, so you're less likely to hit it out of the middle, and you see that kind of low one that just sets off straight and then moves to the right. Not necessarily a slice, but a kind of push slice. So what I want to do is make sure that as I'm going through the motions, as I have my sequencing correct, which if you want to know that, the video is linked in the description below. We did that this week as well as part of Slice Week. But I want to make sure that from the top of the backswing, I start my sequencing with the lower body. I get my torso moving through. I get my shoulders and my arms working through. And then I start to get a little bit of forward shaft lean here. You can see I'm de-lofting that club ever so slightly. But the key there is my hips have rotated, which gives the handle room to work around my body here. If the hips don't rotate and they slide, there's no room for the handle to work around, so you end up kind of standing up and out of it and not having the release that you do want. So if you have the correct release, you're a lot less likely to hit that horrible slice, and you're a lot more likely to strike it much better, get more distance, and with the drill Chris is going to give you, get good at golf. Oh, look at that, go on. That's all over it. Oh, beautiful.
Okay guys, so we know we need to hit down into that golf ball and we need to make sure that we're getting the correct release pattern, and this is something you can set up on the driving range. So I've got a towel 2 club head widths behind the golf ball, and I've got the ball on a tee, and this is for you to find out, are you in the category of early releasing, are you in the category of late releasing, and this is going to tell you, and it's something that just gives you that little bit of feedback. So I've got that behind me, and now if I start to make a swing and I come down and I'm somebody who releases early releases here, I'm going to just hit that towel. I'm going to hit the towel. I'm not going to make contact with the ball, but it's also not going to hurt your hands. It's not going to give you any kind of injuries, because we don't want that on Get Good at Golf. The reason why the ball is on a tee is if you are somebody who holds the club off, often what we see is that we don't make a divot. We start to catch it a little bit clean, because if I'm holding that club off, you'll see that that club is actually working up and it's not going down into the ground. So I'm not releasing that club down into the ground to make contact with the turf. So if it's on a tee, we've got to then go, okay, I've still got to hit down. I've got to hit down after that tee to make that nice little divot. So what we want to see from this is, right, what can we do? Can we hit shots with this? Can I get a good strike? I'm going to get into my normal setup here. I'm going to make a swing and give myself some feedback. So a nice draw, back towards the flag. Let's have a look. So James talked about earlier about club path, because obviously club path is a big thing. We can see that that is working left. We can see that it was a little bit of a toe strike, because my divot is there. But we can see that is just left of my target. So if I go there, is that just left of the target, James?
That is just left of your target, Christopher.
Thank you very much. Good feedback there from Mr. Robinson. So again, I've took the ball off the tee, I've hit down. If you are still taking a divot but feel like it's coming out very low, and sometimes you hit that dreaded right shot that James unfortunately did mention,
sorry,
then what we might start to see is that you get really thin divots. So you can see there, that divot is the full width of that club. So I've gone through the turf, the lie angle's correct, everything's good there, and I've made good interaction with the turf. If you get a divot that is half the size of that, then that's where the club is coming through at this kind of angle. So we are dragging that through. You're going to see a thin divot. You might see it go, obviously, to the right. You might see it hit the dreaded hosel. But also we can see if you're somebody who's really trying to close that down, we can also start to see a thin divot because we might be closing it down. It's a very quick left, and that's going to give you your feedback. So if you don't get to the driving range and you don't get as much feedback, you can certainly do it whilst you're on the golf course. And that's what you want to be able to do, is take some feedback whilst you're out playing, because obviously if you are out playing on the golf course, then we want you to fix it straight away. We don't want you to be thinking, oh, here we go, it's going to be another long day, I'm not hitting it great, I don't know if I'm early releasing, I don't know if I'm late releasing. Start to read your divots a little bit better. If you're not taking divots, then you need to know that you're not transferring your weight and we're not hitting down into the golf ball, which you'll have seen on other drills this week on Slice Week. But I'm going to come in again, see if I can repeat that motion. So let's have a go. Again, a nice strike there. Probably two of the best strikes that I've hit. The tee has actually gone. The tee was in here, so that's a much better centred strike. We can see again that it is the width of that golf club. I will go and repair these divots shortly. But for me, having that little bit of focus with that behind has really made sure that I'm hitting down there, I'm releasing the club correctly, and I've got the best strikes I've hit in weeks. So guys, get that drill set up, work on your release pattern, figure out which one you are. That's going to help you get good at golf.